Welcome to my podcast, Extraordinary with Neman. My name is Neman and I'm your host. My today guest I wanted to have on the podcast since the day I started it, and today is the right time. He's so amazing, an absolute force and a powerhouse in our vegan movement. Yes, I'm talking about another vegan guest that I have, and he is known to millions as a badass vegan. He created a cookbook that is also called Badass Vegan. He is a director of the incredible movie They're Trying to Kill Us, which we're going to talk about. But he is also an advocate and the creator. I said known as a badass vegan, but his name is John Lewis. Welcome.
Man, thank you. That intro made me want to meet myself. Like, that was good. Like good. Who is this guy? Like, I need to meet him myself.
There was so much more I could say during the intro, but I tend to keep them very short to leave more time for a wonderful conversation that we're going to have. Welcome to Chicago.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's been, like I told you, it's been a while since I've been
said
here.
It's been a while. When was the last time you were in Chicago?
Probably, I was hosting a vegan event. I won't say a name. I was hosting a vegan event probably like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, but I grew up in St. Louis.
That long, you know?
No, actually, I take man, time flies. So that might have been like 6 or 7 years ago. But I grew up in St. Louis, so we were always here.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, when I did my tryout to go overseas to play basketball, I had it. It was here in Chicago.
Well, now I'm going to learn where you grow up, because on my podcast, we go deep and I mostly go from the day one. And while majority of my guests share their life traumas later on in life, you have the interesting beginning of your life that immediately starts with kind of traumatic experience. When I heard of it, I was like, oh, wow, how does it work? How is it even possible? So tell us, how were you born and how was the possible that was your condition?
So I was born, believe it or not, in 1977 in Little Rock, Arkansas. And my birth mother, because I was adopted by my grandmother at birth. My grandmother took over. So a lot of people don't know this too. So my birth mother was addicted to crack cocaine. And so she was using while she was pregnant with me, but she had already scheduled to sell me once I was born. No legal adoption, nothing like that. She was just going to sell me for basically more drug money. And my grandmother stepped in and was like, no, you're not selling my first grandkids. So I was born addicted to crack. And that's why I tell everybody now, like, I'm very, very weary of, not saying I'm like in Tory Washington stage ready shape, but I'm in pretty good shape for myself. And people always think, oh, you must be on steroids, you must be on this. I'm like, no, I actually have a fear of any drugs because I just don't want to get stuck in that rut. I know I have an addictive personality because I was obese as a child as well. And, they say sugar is pretty much one molecule away from cocaine. And so I definitely had that addictive personality when it came to food as well. So I've seen how addictive I can be. So I stay away from all of it. But yeah, I started off Little Rock, Arkansas, born addicted to crack. And
explain to us uneducated what happens in that scenario when the baby is born with real addiction. How is handled, what the doctors needed to do.
I was very fortunate to where there was nothing where they had to wean me off of it. They just knew that with her using it during the pregnancy, that they had to watch me and monitor me. So luckily for me, there was no treatment, there was nothing that had to be done, but they knew that it was basically in my system. They knew that it was there. But there are cases where the kid might not even make it because of that. I tell everybody, because I'm the tallest person in my family, I'm 6'6", and I tell everybody, like, I think it was the crack. I really don't understand how I'm this tall, and everybody, the closest one
your
to
family is not tall.
They're not very tall at all, no. Like, so, but I really believe that, like, I was very fortunate in the case where there wasn't anything extreme that had to be done. And I was very fortunate that my grandmother stepped in too, because who knows where I'd be if she wouldn't adopted me in that case.
And so your grandma took you immediately, basically from the first day of your life.
First day, in fact, after she passed away, there was a picture that was always hanging on my wall. It was me at 2 years old. And I never bothered that picture. And for some reason, I took it with me brought it back home and was changing the frame on it. And on the back of the picture, it literally said, "This is John," where I officially got full legal rights, because it took a 2-year process for her to legally get it done. And it said, finally got custody of John. And I posted it a while back, but paraphrasing, it said basically his mom didn't want to even be bothered with him for these 2 years, but I finally got him and he's mine now. Like, this is my baby. My nickname is Skeeter. That's a down south thing. So she was like, Skeeter is like mine now. So like it was like a 2-year process. Yeah.
For those 2 years, because you said it was a very long process, do you know why it took so long? Was your mom trying to get you back at any point?
I just think because we lived in Little Rock, Arkansas in the 70s, and it just was not, and money too.
It was not common for grandma to be adopting, right?
Well, in our society, we call it Big Mama. Big Mama usually takes care of it, but a lot of times there's not a legal adoption, because the adoption costs money itself too. So there were things monetarily that she had to take care of, because my grandmother was a single mom herself. So she had 3 kids plus me. Now you got to look at, she's got 4 kids she's taking care of at this point. So it was a lot. I think monetarily, I think that took a while. Legally, it took a while. It wasn't that she wasn't putting her effort into it. And it wasn't like the birth mom was contesting. I mean, to be honest, which is wild, my birth mom was raising my sister. So she was right there in the house with me the whole time. So there was no combativeness, or like nobody was trying to keep her from doing it. It just took a longer process.
Then I want to ask you then about your relationship with your birth mom. Did you have any?
Not now. We did growing up, and we did for a while, but after a while, I'm a big proponent of, once you see somebody doesn't have your best interest at heart, then at some point you gotta cut the ties. Like there was a situation I was in. I moved from St. Louis, went to grad school in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm in grad school, and a number comes across my screen. I usually don't answer numbers I don't know, but for some reason I answered it, and basically it was a federal agent calling me because my birth mom and little sister had figured out how to make fraudulent checks online. This is back in like 04. And instead of the mother being like, oh man, you know what, you shouldn't make these, she basically like, oh, I know a place we can cash these fraudulent checks. And so instead of just cashing these fraudulent checks and moving on with their business, they put my name down as a reference for the checks.
Oh,
exactly. And I'm down in grad school, changing my life, get my master's degree. And I told the officer, I'm like, look, officer, you can check my phone records. I don't talk to them. I don't know anything. That's when I started to like really like just distance myself from them. I'm like, you know what? You could have put Daffy Duck down. You could have put anybody's name down, but you put my name down. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Got to cut these ties.
You said in one point you all lived in the same house, didn't you? You, grandma, your mom, and
2 brothers.
Brothers, and also from her, or how are they?
Yeah. So my grandmother had 3 children. So she had my birth mom and 2 sons.
So you consider that to be your brothers?
Yeah, we've never called each other. Yeah, we've never called each other uncle, nephew. To this day, if I was to call them right now, they'd be like, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" Like, now my oldest brother was more the father figure. The middle brother was more like my best friend. Like, still is to this day. We're in the same fraternity, everything. Like, I was still close to both of them, but I think my older brother just took on that father figure role, and also he was already doing it because their dad wasn't around either. And I also give credit to both of them, because you got to think they were like 16, 17 when this all went down.
So they were young.
And they could have been like, "Yo, look, we don't want to take care of this little baby. Like, we're in high school. We're having a good time." But they took me right under their wing. So forever, those are my brothers. Really, like really, there's never been an uncle nephew relationship.
Okay. And then you said somehow mom also ended up living in that same house that you with your 2 brothers lived. and she had one more kid after you, right?
Right.
And there was a girl that's your sister.
Yeah.
And she was taking care of her, right? She was not adopted by your...
No. Because that was
What's
14
changed?
years later.
Oh, 14 years later.
Yeah, it was 14 years later. So my little sister's 14 years younger than me. So at that point, she was an adult. Like when she had me, she was 15.
15 years old.
Exactly. So it was a big difference in dynamics when it happened.
Oh, okay. Well, that now makes a lot of sense. It was so young, and that explains why your brothers were that young too.
Exactly.
But I do want to know, did you know anything about your father?
I met him when I was 21.
When you were 21?
21. And it was funny because it was, I will say she probably did some great things for me, but my birth mother, one of the greatest things she did was introduce me to my father and that side of the family. It was my 21st birthday. It was a surprise it wasn't a surprise birthday party, but it was a surprise that he was at the party. And I remember him she was like, I got a surprise for you. And I have a cousin that sings, Amanda, Princess, if you see this, what's up? And I heard her singing from the kitchen. I knew that voice immediately. And so I was surprised, hugged her like happy. And then she's like, I got another surprise for you. And he walks around the corner, and as soon as I saw his face, I was like, that's my dad. Like we look so much alike. Like it was scary almost. Like I knew exactly who that was. I didn't know she was looking for him. I didn't know she had found him. But as soon as he walked around the corner, I was like, that's my dad. Like I knew it.
Oh, I do want to ask, because 21 years has passed. Was the reason you haven't met him earlier, you said she couldn't find him? She didn't know of him? Was he also very young and basically a kid when okay,
he was actually younger than her. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so imagine. Kids. Wrap it up.
That's really kids.
Yeah. So basically not only were they young, but my grandmother on that side, she got a job in Milwaukee. So he had moved before I was even born.
So he didn't even know you.
Oh, he knew, but he waited to tell his mom. Like I talked to my grandmother on that side.
He was scared too, because he was like
He's
14 years old, right?
Exactly. And so she told me, she said, now I have an aunt that's a year older than me. So my grandmother had just had a baby.
Yes.
And then he's like, hey, Mom, I got something to tell you. So back in Little Rock, like when we left, she got pregnant. Right. So it was a whole dynamic with that. And I talked to her about it. She was like, I was pissed at him at first, but then, I calmed down and I wanted to find you. But my mom, when people talk about me being petty, I got it in my DNA. Like my for reference, I call my grandmother Mom. I've never called her grandma.
Yeah.
You might hear grandma in the stories I tell, but I've never, ever, out of disrespect, I would never call her
other than
grandma.
Mom. Yeah.
That's Mom. Like, even at her funeral, I was like, hey, look, because a lot of people coming to me like, oh man, I'm so sorry for your grandmother. So when I got on the podium, I said, hey, look, I understand a lot of you all don't know the story, but that's my mom. That's not my grandmother. I don't care what the chart, the family tree says in life, that's my mom. So she's pretty petty. Like I'm petty, but she's petty. She's queen of petty. I'm the prince of petty. And like literally they kept trying to contact me. They wrote letters, they sent toys, I never saw none of it. She was like, because she also looked at like, so he was addicted to drugs as well. So it was kind of this whole thing. She was like, you know what? I don't want him to be involved with none of that. Yeah. And I don't blame her at all. I'm like, it's okay.
Just probably worried that might hurt you in some way and stuff, as you probably say, like they literally planned to sell you. I also understand your mom's reaction to not allow them then to be in your life. And then your birth mom was the one who actually found them, and you got an opportunity to meet them 21 years later.
At 21, yeah. And I have a little sister by him as well. And actually just found out about 4 years ago, I got another little sister that they didn't even know about. So that just came about. So yeah, my story literally could be a lifetime special.
That's what we are doing right now. Right. And I'm learning about it as we speak. So much I did not know about you.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, how is your relationship with them now? I'm learning now your mom who raised you died. your birth mom, is she still around?
She's still alive, yeah.
But you do not have any
No.
touch with her
No,
ever.
even at the funeral, I was like, hey. We just kept it moving.
Yeah. So she was there, and you just did
she was
not
there.
want any contact.
And in fact, when I said that whole comment about like, no, this is my mom, like, I guess it hurt her. She actually got up and walked out of the actual church for a second. I guess she had to clear her head, but it wasn't a dig on her. It wasn't to talk bad about her. It was like showing respect to my actual mom. It definitely was no disrespect to her.
Yeah. This is such a good lesson for people to understand, and I hope it finds who needs to hear it. It does not prevent your family to be toxic towards you just because they're family.
I'm a big believer in that. One of the best sayings that I live by is that blood is thicker than water, but which one would you drink? Sometimes blood is poisonous to you, and you got to understand that like you're not going to progress, and it's actually going to do you harm if you keep involving yourself in that. And any of my closest friends and family will tell you, even family that's watching Friends, if they comment on this when it comes up, they'll be like, "Oh no, he will cut anybody off." And I also am a big proponent of, if somebody cuts me off because I did something wrong to them, I'm understanding. I don't live my life to do wrong to anybody, but I understand when it happens.
Okay, so I totally understand that and support that decision. And I do want us to send that message, because some people are staying in a situation just because it's a family and taking so much from, oh, it's my mom or it's my sister. It's blood, as you say. And they're staying in a really toxic relations just because somebody is family. So the fact that someone is family does not mean like you have to be supporting their like and feeling their mistreatment on your own skin. So
exactly.
Okay, good for you for cutting that. But I do want to ask, then, you met a father and at 21. How's your relationship with him today?
We're good. It's so funny. We are polar opposites. I'm outgoing.
Even though you look alike.
Yes. And wait, he's like maybe 5'11", 6 foot. So like, and like he went bald. They say he went bald at like 17, 18. I'm lucky as I wouldn't show you my hair right now. I just got off the plane, because this is how much I love this guy, because I came right off the plane for this. But yeah, like we're very similar. Now they do say one thing about us that is the same. Talking to my aunt, like I'm very close to my aunt that's a year older than me. It's like, you are both criers. Like I will cry at the drop of a dime. Like it's so crazy. Like the smallest thing. I won't cry for anything for myself, but I'll see a story of like sadness or happiness, and that'll get me tear jerking. It's so crazy. But they say he's done that his whole life too. But yeah, we had an instance where we didn't talk either, because he did some shady stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm out. Like it was not even a conversation. Like I believe everybody has a thought process that happens in them where they hit a fork in the road, where they're about to do something and they say, is this going to screw Neman over if I do this, or is this going to be good for Neman? And if they still get to that fork in the road and they go, you know what, I'm going to do the bad thing. Okay, cool. You chose that. I'm choosing to step away. So that's how I've always lived. Even when I was a kid, I would cut people off. I'm like, all right, it's fine. I don't care. I could be in the same school, classroom, walk right past people. I don't care. Because I believe in happiness. And happiness, you got to get rid of the toxic.
I agree. So even though there were moments where you cut the contacts and stuff, today you are still a part of your father's side family, and you talk to them, see them, or maybe send a card for Christmas or something like that.
I mean, we talk. My aunt and I, like I said, my aunt and I are only a year apart. So we were both in college when we met. So we bonded over that. You know, like it was a whole bunch of things that we bonded. I think if we would have met younger, it might have been different. But I think we both met, she was going to her college, I was going to my college. They were both historically black schools. So we were bonding over that. My little sister, it's funny, we don't talk all the time. We always laugh about this because whenever we talk, it's like we just saw each other yesterday. It never fails. My grandmother, I talked to her.
But you said your sister is 14 years younger than you.
Well, this is the other sister. The other sister. She is actually about the same, about 13 years. So it's the same thing. But a little bit more mature than the other sister. And no shade, no knock on the other one, but just a different, I guess, persona, you could say.
Absolutely. Well, now you mentioned college, but I want to know a little bit before that. I want to know, like, how was the growing up? Where did you go to school? What games did you play? Who were your friends? How was your childhood?
Man, I was actually a good kid. I was a good kid with a smart mouth, though. Like, I still got it now, but I will recall, like, childhood was good. I had a couple traumatic incidents. Like, these are all my original teeth, but when I was 8 years old, I ran into another kid and I crushed my whole gum line. I had to go literally to the emergency room midnight on a Friday night in St. Louis. I had to get like 85 stitches. They had to put each tooth back in place and sew them back into place. And I wore an acrylic cast over my teeth for like 8 months. So these are all my original teeth, but I went through like trauma for them. Played basketball. Like I said, I was obese as a kid. I think my mom was just really just compensating, you know, and especially because when we moved to St. Louis from Little Rock, it almost was just her and I at a certain point. Because my oldest brother stayed in Little Rock when we moved to St. Louis because he started working for Southwestern Bell South, AT&T now. He started working there at 18 as soon as he got out, so he stayed down there. My brother came up with us. The mother/sister came up with us, but then they ended up moving out eventually, and so it was just her and I. And so I coped with food, just eating all the time. Ended up being 315 as a freshman in high school, and I wasn't 6'6". I was like 5'7", 5'6". So it was definitely noticeable. You talked about friends, best friend to this day, Craig Thomas, who's actually vegan now too. We never talked about this growing up, and we both did it on our own. He's actually in film as well. So just a crazy thing. And the crazy thing about how we met is I've never been a bully. I've never liked bullies, couldn't stand them. And there was this bully in school, and I don't recommend this, children, but this is what happened. I didn't even know Craig yet. He had just came to the school, transferred from another school down in the city. So we're in the Ferguson, Florissant School District. If anybody knows about Ferguson now, that's where Mike Brown was killed. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best either. And it was this bully. And I remember Craig going to me, he's like, man, I can't stand that dude, man. He always like just being mean and da-da-da. And I was like, man, I can't stand him either. And I don't know what my cursing level is on here, but he goes, man, we should go beat his. I was like, you know what, we should. That's how we met, and that's how we became best friends today. We took care of that, and we never saw that kid at that school again. Like, he literally like transferred schools. We never saw him again. I think, but you know, like as an adult now, we know like hurt people. So probably he was hurt, and that's why he was doing what he was doing. And once it came back on him, he's like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not used to this. And we never saw that kid again. But I will say in high school, talking about high school, I learned a valuable lesson. I was a hothead in a sense of, I believe because I was nice to everybody should be nice to me. And that we all know that's not how the world works. Yeah. So here in America, for instance, like if a person is playing a sport and it's senior night, they usually start that game. Now, I've been starting the whole year already, and a situation that happened where I guess me and my coach, we didn't see eye to eye on something. So the night of the senior night game, he made me start on the bench. So he didn't make me start the game. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, wait a minute, this is senior night. My mom's there. We got family and friends there. And so he didn't put me into the second half. And so anybody that knows basketball, if you've been starting the whole year and you go from starting the whole year to not even getting into the second half of the game, and then he takes me out of the game in like, I want to say like 60 seconds. I wasn't there that long at all. And I'm walking to the bench, and it was like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. I'm not even exaggerating. It was like I had the little evil John on this shoulder and the good John on this shoulder. And the evil John is like, let him have it. And I'm walking to the bench towards the coach. And the evil ones and the good ones like, John, don't do it. Like I'm having this dialogue in my head. And the closer I get to the bench, I just snap and I just yelled at him. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And the whole gym just stops. And I sit next to him. I'm pissed at him, everything. And finally, I go back to the locker room because I'm like, yo, why am I sitting on this bench? I'm not playing. And I sit there for a while. I was a point guard in high school. So I was like a team captain. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get out of this locker room. Let me go back to the bench because I'm a teammate. I'm being a horrible teammate now. As I'm leaving the locker room, mind you, I'm in Ferguson. There's 3 cops waiting on me outside the door.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. And they're like, oh, no, you can't go back over there. I'm like, what do you mean I can't go back over there? They're like, well, you said that you were going to F the coach up. I'm like, no, I said, what the F is wrong with you? It's 2 different things.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you can't go. I'm like, dude, he curses at us all the time, which he did. He curses all the time. And so I was like, whatever. My mom wasn't even mad at me because she understood where my frustration was. So games on Saturday night, I come back to school Monday. All the kids are like, yo, he deserved that. Good job. You know, he's a jerk. I get called to the office and the principal's crying. Like, I'm like, what's wrong? I'm thinking something wrong with my mom. I don't know what's going on. And basically, because that happened and it was on school grounds, they wanted to expel me from school.
Oh, wow.
Which I wouldn't have graduated because we were already at the end of the school year. So she had got it down to just a 10-day suspension so I could still come back to school, but they kicked me off the basketball team as well. And I think that's what, even though that was a horrible lesson to learn, it was a valuable lesson to learn early in life. Like, yeah, you probably can whoop somebody and you probably could curse somebody out, but what are the after effects of it? And so that was a heavy lesson for me, and that was high school. Yeah.
Good. I love these life stories. I do want to ask you, earlier today, you and I mentioned and just spoke about scenario my friend and I just experienced in hotel of like a very visible racism. So I can't even imagine how was it when you were growing up. And I kind of want to hear some of those stories and experiences. And I always wonder this because I did not grow up in this country. I grew up very far and learned about the events of
what country?
Montenegro.
Oh,
Yes, in Europe, very tiny and small. But there's like no diversity over there. We all, So anyway. I learned mostly from the movies, and I spoke about it on this very same podcast about how my mom and I are watching the movie from the events of the past and seeing some of the horrifying moments. For example, I really remember this scene because it's the first time in my life I learned about slavery. Like I didn't know about it. And there was actually a scene where they were entering the bus and like people are going in a separate section in the bus. And I remember asking my mom questions about this. Why is it happening? And my mom not being able to explain this to me because she's also really confused. But then she knew about the slavery. So she told me a little bit about it, but I couldn't understand. I still couldn't understand it, how just based on the color of the skin, somebody was like treated so differently, and not just so differently, but just so awfully. So I want to know how, and I'm always curious about it, how do Black kids learn that? How do they react to it? And what Black mother needs to do to prepare their Black son for the very white America?
Very deep. That's very deep. And just to help too, so the segregation that was going on with the buses was after the actual enslavement. And it when it came down to your mom preparing you, I do believe a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, the laws changed, but the hearts of the people didn't change. So it's like, just because you banned the racism didn't mean that the heart of the person that was racist
It's not
changed.
happening till today. Yeah,
It's still going on. Yeah, it's still going on. And so I remember my mom would tell me hey, if a cop pulls you over, hands on the steering wheel, don't move till he gets there. You see videos of this is no knock on anybody, but Euro-American kids getting out the car and they're they're cursing the cop out. Nothing's gonna happen to them. When it's a Black kid though, you see all the stuff happening with Mike Brown. No matter what people want to say about Mike Brown, I still don't believe he did what the cop said. But even if he did do what the cop said, and they say he went for his gun, but then he started running. So he still shot him in the back, and he didn't have a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's so many factors. Like there's things that happen that where we have to be so in fear of like what can happen to us. And like to the day, I remember this was college. This was 1997. We had a summer job. Craig Coleman, again, was with me. He had the summer job with me. We were working for Terminex at the call center. And I remember calling somebody's house, and it was about 7, because 8 o'clock is like the last time you can call somebody's house. So it was about 7 o'clock. And the guy answers the phone. I'm like, hey, how you doing? This is John Lewis from Terminex, just calling. We're going to give you a free estimate if you want to. He goes, wait a minute. Is this a nigger calling my house? And I was like, I'm on the phone like, wait, I'm sorry. I was like, what? Like, he goes, you heard me. Is this a nigger calling my house while I'm about to have dinner with my family? And I'm like, well, I mean, and it was so bold that he asked to speak to my manager. It wasn't like a racist thing. Like he was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. He was like, no, he took it a step further. Like my manager had to get on the phone and talk to this guy
to explain why you're the one who is calling.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and so people don't understand that. So like, I'm very vocal on my page, as you know. Like, I'm very vocal on my page. Like, if I see something wrong, I'm gonna speak on it. I think that's what drove me to be vegan too. Like, human, non-human, whatever. If it's wrong, I'm gonna say something. Like, that's just who I am. And the racism is still alive today because those same people that were around in the 40s, 50s, 30s, they've had children and they've had grandchildren. And they've passed these ideologies on to these other people. And they tell these kids, like, they're beneath you. They're not worthy. They're not this. They're not this. Hey, that black kid, you better watch out when they're on the street. Like, you've been around me how many times now? I'm probably, is there anything threatening about me when we're around? You know what I'm saying? But I know, I get it. Like, people just see me. I've been on elevators with people in a 3-piece suit. I'm not even lying. And this lady, I'll never forget, I get on the elevator, I'm in a suit, and she takes her purse and she just subtly changes it to the other side. And I'm like, I was like, my tattoos cost more than your whole outfit. I'm like, I hate to sound like that, but it's like, yo, I don't want anything from you. And I just started laughing, like literally in the middle of the elevator, because I'm like, here we go.
What are you even doing? One thing, just really, I don't know if it makes me more sad or mad about all the things that you said, but it's about your mom explaining to you how to behave if the cop stops you.
Yeah.
And the reason why that hurts me is because I grew up like knowing that if there's a trouble and I see police, it's when I'm safe.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh, finally. And the fact that a black mom needs to worry that their son, it's not just going to be hurt by the outside evil world, but about also protection forces that they are out there to serve the country and protect us, that their son might be not just hurt, but shot.
Yeah.
So it stuck in my mind.
And to go along with that, I made a post a while back. Like I said, I'm not a mathematician, but I do math fast. And I was sitting there one day and I made a post about it. I said, well, let's just say, they say, oh, one apple doesn't spoil the bunch when they talk about, bad cops. It's like, well, if you got one racist cop, and let's say there's 380,000 cops in America, 1% of 380,000 people is a lot of fucking racist cops. So if you got those spread across these 50 states, you got to be worried. Like when something happens, but people don't think about that. They're like, oh, that's just one isolated incident. It's like, no, this is across the board. And you've seen like, even in Ferguson, where I'm from, there was a case where it was in emails about arresting more black people. It's like, it's so crazy. And then, but a lot of times people are like, oh, the system's not out to get you. It's like, no, actually the system is out to get you. And we have to deal with that. And I appreciate the empathy that you have and how other people have. While we were making there trying to kill us, my co-director Keegan, he said it. He was like, man, I'm so stressed out making this film while we're editing. He was like, how do you live this every day? I was like, you condition to it. It's like if you sleep on a bed of thorns every night, after a while, the bed of thorns is just a bed.
Yeah.
It's still tearing you up, but that's the bed you're used to.
And that's where I also spoke about this very same scenario that me and my black friend in front of me is experiencing racism, and she's not even reacting to it. And
so used to it.
Exactly. And that hurts even more, knowing that you experience it so much that it's that you like what they call it, black fatigue, where you no longer even have you're tired of fighting it. So that's why I think it's so
and also, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but like also it's like if we do get animated, if we do get loud,
then it's an angry black woman. Yes.
We're the ones that, oh, see, the angry black person, here you go. That's like, it's funny. Every time I express something, when I talk about how messed up a racist moment is, everybody like, oh, you're dividing us. You're being racist. Oh, now you're being angry. I'm like, look, I literally just explained what happened. A lot of people don't even know. I post and I go on about my day. I don't sit there and be like, ooh, I can't wait till somebody comments so I can come back. I'm like, I'm just telling you what it is. Like, you took it as I'm angry because it triggered something in you. I'm not angry at all. I've been living this for 48 years. I know exactly what's going on. Would I like the world to change? Yes. Is the world going to change? No.
I'm hopeful.
It won't change for us.
The reason for that is what I'm saying. Like I think it's not enough for white people to only not be racist. You gotta be loud and against it and call it out and protest it in every possible capacity. I think that could hopefully bring us some change because we have.
We progressed.
Exactly.
We progressed.
We made some progress. There's so much far we have to go, where we have to go, but like the progress is happening. And I think in this point, and especially in this time and current administration and everything, it's not longer enough for a white people to just like, oh, I'm not racist. Like, good. It's not enough. Like you have to do more. It's our responsibility to do more.
And to go along with what you're saying, and I've said this all the time, I was like, the biggest factor in eliminating something is the people that are of that demographic speaking up against their demographic. Like, and I don't call white people anymore. I say Euro-American because I'm like, for some reason, they always say African-American, Asian-American, whatever, Native American, but they get to be white. No, you're Euro-American then, if that's the case.
But also, this is so funny. I don't know even if I should say this on a podcast, but I didn't know that I was white. I didn't. I thought that was an American thing.
Exactly.
No, seriously.
Yeah, you get here, they're like, oh,
exactly for the same reason that you're talking about. And I remember in 2015, I lived in different countries. I was never ever, and I opened bank accounts in the different countries, meaning like I really lived there. I was never in my life asked to fill out what I am till 2015 of my lifetime when I came to United States of America.
It is.
And there was in front of me, what race are you? And I legit don't know. Because I just really didn't know. And I was like, I don't think. And then lady said to me, oh.
You had to phone a friend like, hey,
no,
what am
the
I?
bank lady told me, I was like, oh, like you are white. And then I looked and I was like, no, because I'm not American. I literally thought it's reserved for the Americans. It's exactly for that reason that you're talking about. So I was so confused because I was not born in this country. I couldn't. I ended up marking other because at that time I really was not confident enough to be like, I don't know what my race is. Like I'm so confused.
Am I white enough? I don't know.
But yeah.
But I say that because Euro-Americans have to speak up against Euro-Americans being racist. I believe also in any demographic, vegans have to speak up about other humans eating animals. I think straight people had to speak up for gay people.
That's right. And it means so much.
It does. It really means a difference. And like people are always like, oh, you must be gay because you speak up for gay people. It's like, no, if I see wrong, I'm going to fucking say it's wrong. Like it's not. And I think that's the biggest problem is that a lot of people, and again, I think that comes back to my upbringing of being able to cut off bad people in my family because I will call out bad stuff. when it comes to the Euro-American culture, there is something engraved in them. And even in the African-American culture, a lot of times they don't want to call out their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, if I see African-American killing an African-American person, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to say this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If I see whatever's going on, I'm calling it out. And I think sometimes we want to hide under the curtain, or like the Wizard of Oz, go behind the curtain, like not say anything because, I don't want to call out my own people. It's like, no, you have to. That's the only way this is going to get eradicated. Whatever the hatred is, hoping hatred goes away doesn't work. We've tried that. We tried the whole hope thing. It don't work.
We need to do the walk, and to do the activism and hold people accountable. And I love that. And I want to say, I thank you for your speaking out for the gay people, because it does mean so much more when it comes from a straight person. Because like you're not affected by this, but you're taking time out of your day to fight for the marginalized group that is going through something, and like it holds more power. And I always was so much more grateful when a straight person does it than like when we gay advocates for each other. They're like, of course you're gonna be doing that. Like, but when the straight people do it, it just means so much to me. And
it's always funny the comments I get when I speak up though. Like it's like I said, I said is I can't remember the numbers. I said is this amount of species in the world, and there's literally I guess you could say gay tendencies in every species of animals, but there's only one species of animal that has homophobia.
Humans.
It's humans. Like that. Like that's it. Like we're the only ones. Like it's crazy.
That is so true. Okay, I want to switch into a different direction now and get excited about this because I'm so very passionate about it. And it's, of course, veganism.
Yes.
I want to know how the hell in the life that you had, it doesn't sound like an easy life. It sounds you've been through a lot from the day that you were born.
Yeah.
Where do you find the compassion and where do you find information about veganism, especially how long have you been doing this?
20 years now. Yeah.
20 years, like 2 decades ago, I had no clue what the hell even vegetarian was, let alone vegan.
Yeah.
So how the 2 decades ago do you make this decision?
Well, in high school, I was also a butcher, so that's crazy. Exactly, right? Exactly. And so I think that helped me. Because you know how they say, oh, if you don't go vegan for the animals, you won't stay. I call bull on that because, and good bull, not in a bad way, but I call bull on that because I didn't go for the animals immediately. But as I stayed in it, everything started to matter. Everything mattered to me. But, I would say this. I grew up in a very loving environment. And so my mom just surrounded me with love and happiness. Like literally, it's funny. That's my son. My son is 7 years old, and it's a song by Al Green called "Love and Happiness." And when we had bath time, I would play "Love and Happiness." That's his favorite song. He's a 7-year-old kid. This song was made in like 1970 something. And so, for me, I was like, man, if I'm happy, I want everybody else to be happy. And so it's like whenever something bad happens to me, I'm like, dang, I might get mad at the moment, whatever it is, but I'm like, all right, what's going to make us happy again? Let's keep going. So I started thinking like that. And so for veganism to hit me, and I say all this about the happiness because when I went vegan, I was in my last week of my master's program in grad school. And my brother, my oldest brother, the one I told you is more like my father figure, I noticed he's like just ringing me off the hook. And I'm in literally in it's called the capstone course. So you're there from 9 to 5 the whole week. That's how you graduate. I'm like, he called me like 4 times. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm sorry. So I get out, I call him back. I'm like, hey, bro. And there's one thing about my oldest brother. If he ever calls me son, something's wrong. Either I did something wrong, somebody else did something wrong, or something's about to be messed up. He's like, hey, son, I'm with your mom right now. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, well, she ain't been able to keep no food down. I don't know what's going on. So we're here at the doctor's office. And I remember my mom getting on the phone. And when I'm happy all the time, my mom is the anybody that ever met my mom is just the epitome of happiness. Unless I did something bad at school, she would let me have it. But she's always happy. And when she got on the phone, I'm like, hey, Mom, how you feeling? She's like, I feel like shit, baby. And I was like, for me, and I'm all the way in Florida. She's in St. Louis. You talking about a dagger in the heart. I can't do nothing. I don't know what's going on. And so I remember, like, I'm like, okay. I talked to her for a little bit. Talked to my brother. He said, all right, well, we're going to get these tests done. I'll let you know what's going on. Come to find out it was colon cancer. And so I remember talking to the doctors. I remember I flew home. I talked to the doctors and everything. And I'm like, what's going on? How'd this happen? I'm thinking it's going to be like some DNA thing. He's like, well, you know, too many animal foods, fried fatty foods. And, you know, I'm like, wait, this is not a like a DNA thing. He's like, no, this is a lifestyle thing. And that hit me. I'm like, yo, like, wait, this is a lifestyle thing. I'm thinking this is like, generation, genetics, da. He's like, no. And so I didn't go vegan immediately, but I actually started doing research. And I looked on, you know, World Health Organization, like non-vegan pages or websites. I just kept seeing like, oh man, he's not lying. This is actually a thing. Excuse me. So when that happened, I literally just like, all right, well, I guess I'm done. I was like, let me see how this works for 30 days. Went to 30 days. Within like 2 weeks, I felt so good. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like for me, it was wild because I had already started going vegetarian before that. And I felt good with that already. But when I saw that, I started seeing how like milk and cheese still had the DNA of the meat, but in a concentrated form. So people, you know, like they've done studies like Buddhist monks, you know, they have high cholesterol and heart congestion. It's not because they're eating the meat, because they're eating so much dairy. And it's like, so I'm like, well, let me try this out. And then it just started changing for me. And I was like, man. And then I was still playing, I was playing travel basketball at the time. And like, I was noticing like, oh, this was one thing. A good friend of mine, his sister was already vegan. And she was one of the vegans that be like, ugh, you eating that? Like, she like, like right in front of your face. I'm like, damn, and so I'll never forget, this is after I went vegan. I was at a game, I went to dunk a ball. And I'm not even exaggerating. You can call it crazy and call it what you want, but you are more in tune with your body in certain moments. And I went to dunk the ball and I felt like this surge of energy literally from my like ankle all the way up to when I dunked the ball. Like I felt it. I remember calling her. I was like, yo, you were right. Cause she said, she was like, when it hits, you're going to feel it. And I remember this surge of energy. And I was like, I don't know, maybe 26, 20, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little bit older to be out here playing with everybody else, but I just felt great. Like, yeah, I played until, man, almost 40. I still played until I was almost 40. Then I started running like I do now, so.
I have lots of questions there. I want to know, you mentioned that it started with your mom getting sick. She did not survive that. Was that?
She survived that though. Yeah, she survived the colon cancer, but then she ended up getting lymphatic cancer like 5 or 6 years later. And then congestive heart failure is what took her out. Because she never changed her eating habits.
So after that, there was nothing you could do to convince her to go away?
My mom picked cotton as a kid, man. Like she was from so far back. Like my mom went to segregated schools. Like and that's why when people act like it's so far removed, the racism and it, like the girl that went to the first desegregated school is still alive. Like it's not that far removed. So for her, you know, it was hard for her to change because of just the beliefs of growing up. And you got to have me for this and that. She was my biggest promoter of what I was doing, but her herself didn't change. And then every now and then I get like a cute text of her like, hey, I just had a salad today. And she'll send me a picture of the salad. Like she was doing her thing, but it's just, you know. And also I tell everybody, I was like, man, I wasn't going to lose my relationship with my mom at the age she was at.
Yeah,
because she wasn't going to go vegan. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah. But I was just like curious if you know.
There were some changes, but not full. It definitely wasn't full.
And how long ago was that she died?
3 years. It was July 7th was 3 years. Yeah.
So it was kind of recent.
Yeah. It was real recent.
How did that was for you? Like,
It took me a little while to like overcome, but I like with my kids, I couldn't break down. Like I just didn't have time to break down. And so like my kids didn't even come to the funeral because I didn't want them to have to deal with that.
And to see you crushed and things like that.
But not only that, like they love their grandma. They called her Yaya. Like they loved Yaya. Like Yaya was their girl. So like I didn't want them to, and they were so, 3 years ago, like they're 7 and 9 now. So at that time, they were so young. I just didn't want them to go through that. But for me, that's actually because I ran half marathons back in the day, probably like 10 years ago. That's when I started running again. That like it's so funny. I was able to cry on the road and nobody saw it. Like I could cry. It looked like sweat. Like nobody's driving their car like, dude, is he crying? It was like, it looks like sweat. And I would like, it was certain songs that would trigger me and like, but it was crazy because I was looking for the triggering songs. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, let me get this out. Like I never ran from the anguish and the pain of it. And I always say like I spoke at an event the day after she died. The Kentucky event, the Louisville. I spoke at that Veg Fest the day after. Because I was like, my mom would come down here and snatch me up like, you better go live your life. Like you still gotta live. And that's how I've lived it. Like I had a great 45 years with her. You know what I'm saying? Like beautiful. Great 45 years with her. So I was like, beautiful. I can't complain about it. That lady saved my life. Ain't no telling where I would be. So what would I be if I wasted any moment that she gave me by saving me? You know, like I thought about it like that.
It makes me really happy that she got to see some of the great things that you have accomplished, the movie, the book, and all the fun things. But I do want to get to all of that. But first, I must ask, so you mentioned like, oh, you went vegan. How does 20 years ago?
Oh, yeah, my bad. We did. You did ask
no,
that.
Vegan food works. Like, what do you eat? Like, it's just I can't imagine what it looked like 2 decades ago.
Oh, it was a lot of Boca burger.
Really?
Yes.
Was around?
Yeah. So Boca was around then, and there wasn't a lot of selection. It wasn't.
So actually, you ate a bunch of fruits and veggies, which is the way I want to live.
Yeah, fruits and veggies, and. It's funny because mock meat wasn't even frowned upon.
A thing,
back then.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it was a thing, but it was like nobody was looking at Boca Burger. Nobody was protesting Boca Burger, and I think Morningstar Farm was out then too. It was still out. So you had Morningstar Farm, and Corn was out. QU. But the thing was, you had to really be careful with corn because some of their stuff had egg in it. Not all of it, but some of it. So there was some out there, and I would say it was easier to be in shape back then too because there wasn't as many selections. Like it wasn't as much junk food. Like
of course. Now, vegan can be anything: pizza, donut, pasta, cake, ice cream, cake.
God, everything. Like that's like when I get people like, "Oh, you're in shape because you're vegan." I'm like, absolutely not. No, absolutely
it takes a little more than that.
It takes a little bit more willpower now. But yeah, back then, I wasn't even big on protein shakes at the time. Like it was just I would say. I've always been a chicken patty person. So like burgers and stuff wasn't my thing, but like Boca had these chicken patties.
Vegan chicken, yeah?
Yes. And I just, that would be my protein. I throw it on top of a salad. I cook it, throw it on top of a salad. That was good to go. You know? Yeah.
And I want to know now how it's progressing from 2 decades to start some of the works that you're doing now. How did a Badass Vegan happens? Like, right? Was that like your first... social media what's it called, username?
Yeah, that was my first username. So actually when I started, so I got into the fitness industry because of P90X. This is so old school at home workout program. I won't say old school, but it's about 20 years old. So and I did this actual at home workout program, and a friend of mine knew the owner, and he was like, man, your results, because I had knee surgery right before I started this program, and he was like, let me send your results in. I'm like, nah, I am the worst critic for myself. I think, body dysmorphia is a real thing because like once I was 315, like I always see myself as I know it's sad, but I always see myself as 315. And so he's like, let me send him pictures in. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. So he sent them in anyway. And they hit me up. They're like, yo, we would love to use you in our advertisements and everything. And at the time, anybody watching this, they probably know what P90X was. It was big. So I was on all these commercials, all these infomercials. And so I started getting a lot of love. And then people found out I was vegan. And this one guy commented one time, he's like, man, you're one badass vegan. And I was like, And I knew I didn't want to compete with Beachbody. Beachbody was the company that owned P90X. I knew I didn't want to compete with them, but I knew I could do my own thing. Because I mean, at this point, I'm answering like 100 emails a week of people asking me that advice. And then I'm like, oh, well, hold on. Like, all right, what we talking about? Like, I love helping people, but I still got bills. Like, hold on. Like, I can do something on my own. And I didn't want to compete with them. So I started that. And I was on a run. I was training for a half marathon at that time. And when I went, while I'm on the run, I'm like, all right, we need to go ahead and just start this. Like, I talk to myself a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I talk to myself a lot. And I was like, let's start this. And so I was like, what we gonna call it? I was like, yeah, Badass Vegan. I literally came back for that run, went right to GoDaddy, bought the website, registered the trademark. Because my education is in business. I got my undergrad in marketing. I got my master's in business with an emphasis in entrepreneurship. So like, I was like, let's do this. And then it just took off. And really the concept of Badass Vegan was to be like a Facebook for vegans. I wasn't going to be Badass Vegan. It was for everybody to be bad. If you were vegan, you were Badass Vegan. That's what it was. But then I saw how much it would cost to create a Facebook like vegan page. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just be a Badass Vegan by myself. Because those websites back then especially, they cost an arm and a leg to get something that big, and with all those platforms behind the main page. And so that's what happened. And I started working with film. I was always editing and always learning, and I'm still like that. I'll be up till 5 a.m. sometimes learning something. Like I got you as a creative. Like once your mind is on something, you keep going. And so I was always working on little projects, editing my own videos, editing for other people, other clients. And one day, Keegan, my co-director, he reached out to me. He was like, hey, man, I'm working on this project. Can you take a look at it for me? So I helped him like edit What the Health. I helped on that. And then he was like, let's do our own thing. And I was like, whatever it is, man, we got to help Black and brown people, man. I was like, I feel like they get left behind with all these vegan documentaries. It's like, the focus is on Euro-American, what I'm saying? No knock on them, but that's just the focus.
It's true, yeah.
And so he was like, let's do it. And I was like, what if we did like something that was based on social justice, food justice, but through the lens of hip hop? Because I was like, look, I don't have all the money, but I got the connections. I was like, so I started hitting up everybody I knew. Like John Sally's my mentor. I didn't even ask him. I was like, you're in this, dude. I hit up Stick from Dead Prayers, Maya, Gray, so many people. I was just like, yo, let's go. And if I forgot somebody, there's no knock on you. ITEF, who I just actually talked, I don't know if you know DJ ITEF. He's over in Africa right now. He just FaceTimed me the other day. And that was just the greatest conversation, man. He said, man, I love you, man. Just want to make sure you're doing good. Like that, I got these connections with these people. Like, let's do it. Soleil, Professor Griff, all these people. And he was like, let's do it. And so we just got the ball rolling. And then as those people came on, that's how Billie Eilish came on. And then that's how...
so I wanted to ask you, so Billie Eilish is the executive producer of the movie, okay?
Yeah.
For those of you who do not know, movie, it's called They're Trying to Kill Us. And it was directed by you, correct?
Yeah. Directed, produced by me, written by me, and then, co-written and produced. We did it right down the line, me and Keegan.
And then Billie Eilish came aboard to be one of the executive producers.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, I'm very cool with Maggie, her mom. So everybody always like, oh man, he knows Billie Eilish. I'm like, yeah, I know Billie, but I'm cool with her mom. Like me and Billie ain't just like, hey, what you doing tonight? Let's do it.
Yeah.
No. So Maggie actually hit me up. She's like, hey, do you have an executive producer yet? I'm like, well, we're working on Chris Paul right now, but we don't have anything solidified. She's like, what if Billie was an executive producer? And I was like, I was like, well,
that would be the best thing in the world.
Yeah, okay. Let me think about it for a minute. Sure. I went right into it. And the thing was, to be honest, when we first started filming, some people had suggested interviewing with Billie, and I was like, no, not at the time, because I didn't want like this white savior thing to happen. But then when a lot of things happened with George Floyd and all that, she was very vocal.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Okay, all right. Like this is not a white savior thing anymore.
Yeah. She's truthful to
She's truthful to it. Right. Course. And so when I did that, it was just a great thing. And that's the funny part about the film being blackballed. Like when you got Billie Eilish as your executive producer and Chris Paul, another amazing powerhouse in his own right, and the networks are like, oh, yeah. We had literally a network literally tell me face to face, the president of a network say, I love this documentary to death. It's the best documentary I've ever seen. But we need to cut out 30 minutes because it goes directly after our main advertisers. Yes. So that's how the concept of the new docuseries I told you about came about. Yeah.
I do want to know, tell people a little bit more what the movie is actually about. And also, sorry, you got to interview all of these people that are in the movie, right? There's some like incredible people in the movie. Yeah. Okay, tell people what the movie is actually about.
So it's about food justice and social justice through the lens of hip hop. We start off in Ferguson, where I grew up, talking about how, you know, the media always talks about black on black crime and, you know, the crack epidemic and the drug epidemic, but they don't talk about how the guns get to the neighborhoods and how they buy them from Nicaragua and buy them and literally place them there. The cocaine that they're getting from Colombia and Nicaragua, and they're putting right into the hoods, and they don't talk about all that part. But in the media, it's like, man, what is going on with them over there? But the main killer of black people is our food. They don't talk about who put that there either. Like these corporations literally work with the government to produce these horrible products disguised as food. Like heart disease is the number one killer of black men. It's not guns, it's not bullets, it's literally what we're eating. And so I was like, let's dive deeper into this. Like one instance we call out in the film, if anybody ever goes watch it, it is the insurance companies had $3.2 billion invested in the fast food companies, which means that...
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So that means that the insurance companies are getting a monthly payment from you to have insurance in the first place. And when you go buy the junk food from the fast food place, they get paid off of that. And then when you get sick from eating the junk food, you got to call them up. And they get paid because now you got to get surgery or whatever the case is. And then they're also into the pharmaceutical companies. So when you need the pharmaceuticals, they get paid off of that. I'm like, it's all tied into it. And it's like, yeah, people say it's capitalism. I'm like, yeah, but the government allows it. And the government is a part of all of it. So it was just a big, big dive deep. I don't want to give too much of the movie away, but it's a dive deep. And we call out names. We literally tell you the names, where the money's coming from, where the money's going. Why does this CEO that worked for a bioengineering company is now the CEO of Pepsi? Why you was dealing with chemicals over there? What you doing now? Like, so we weave all that together for everybody. And we talk about, you know, environmental racism as well, the history of slavery and how we started eating a certain way, and then they capitalized on that. You got all these fast food companies like Popeyes and other ones, Kentucky Fried Chicken, that make you feel like it's a black-owned company, and then when you go back, it's all white people behind the curtain again. Like they put this lady on Popeyes, like she's like literally the owner of Popeyes. She has nothing to do with Popeyes.
Well, I do want to invite everyone to go and watch the movie. Movie is available on so many other things, but I'm going to select my favorite, okay? They can see it everywhere, but you all know I have a show on Unchained TV.
Yes.
For those people who don't know, I never spoke about it on a podcast, but I do want to. Unchained TV, it's a very lovely 100% vegan network. It's basically like, think of it as a vegan Netflix. There are over 2,000 videos that you can watch and enjoy. And I have my own show called Kale Crew that is very different than what I'm doing right now, because on my podcast be going deep, as you can see. On show, it's all about love and joy and the food, but it's available on Unchained TV. It's original series, Kale Crew, that you can watch. And also just as of recently, and thank thank you for doing that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it because like I do want Unchained TV to
grow.
to grow, and I want every vegan in the country, even if you're vegan or not vegan, download the Unchained TV. It's so amazing because number one, it's free. Number two, the best thing about it is you don't even need account to watch. Like you literally just download the app, it pops up, you can start watching.
Yes.
A lot of things on Unchained TV, but right now, if you're intrigued by this movie that we spoke about, download Unchained TV on your phone. Find They're Trying to Kill Us. It's one of the most trending videos, just right around where, you know, my show trending too. So you will find it easily. It's in the trending section. Find They're Trying to Kill Us and watch it. It's really, really good. So much information.
So we're like label mates, like a record label. Like we're label mates. We're on the same label.
Exactly, yes. Find it over there, and I really hope it's going to help you make some informed decisions. So all the love for Unchained TV.
Yes.
Okay, now I want to ask you some things. Okay, you said 6'6", you know, this big dude, and people when see you, they grab their purses because like you look so dangerous. And now you are so compassionate, not just when it comes to the animals, but like just in general. Like you advocate whenever there is injustice, like you're part of it. And I find that so beautiful, and we need more men like you to be compassionate and not to be scared of the empathy. I was just recently hearing all these awful situations, how empathy is a made-up thing, and like no man should be empathetic and stuff. And it's like so stupid. And I love more men like you to show the empathy, especially towards the weaker ones. And animals do fall into that category, at least the ones that we are exploiting. We are not, we exploit tigers and lions too for entertainment and stuff, but we are not breeding them for food. We chose the most peaceful ones to come and just basically made a hell out of their lives. Endless hell. So I want to know how you go from being a butcher to right now having so much love and empathy for the animals, even though that was not the main reason you started your veganism. It grew on you so much, and I feel you. Like I always loved animals, but after I went vegan, there's something so special that happens. Now when I see a cow, I just get so excited. I want to say hi to her. I want to tell her that I'm on her side. And I just want a little bit to know about your journey from being a butcher. How was that? If there's any trauma involved in that?
It's all trauma. Like once you dive back into it, it's all trauma because, I mean, you're so desensitized. And that's, you know, with the recent events that happened, when I told people, like, I'm not celebrating, but I'm not sad. Like, I just been through so much to where I'm not like, oh my God. Like, we literally would have competitions. We would get 50-pound boxes of frozen chickens. And we can see you could cut up a 50-pound box the fastest. Like, it was just desensitized. You're just cutting dead bodies all day. Like, you don't even, you weigh it up, put it in the bag, give it away. And so one thing that really hit me, and it wasn't even a compassion thing, this was more like a help me with my vegan thing. I was like, if a squirrel passed away in your backyard today, tomorrow, what would you smell? Like, real question. What would you smell? If a squirrel passed away, if a squirrel died in your backyard, would you smell that squirrel tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I'm working around all these dead animals and we don't smell nothing.
Because they've
been treated, beaten, all this different stuff. I'm like, something just don't seem right. Like, it never turns brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. It's a week to get to us. It's another week to get that the person will have it still sitting in the refrigerator. That's 2 weeks. If a dead body, that's why they take it right to the morgue so they can pump it with everything to keep it from smelling, keep it from disintegrating, all that stuff. And I'm like, but we eating this all the time. So that was one of the factors right there too. But 2 factors I would say that really got me to be more compassionate was that I know how I started my life off. And I was like, I'm fortunate to where it made me more loving than hateful. Because I got friends and family say all the time, like, man, you could be the most hateful dude in the world because of everything I've been through. But I'm like, I know how that feels to be like rejected and not wanted. And I'm like, I don't want anybody to ever have to feel like that. Or and I say anybody because for those that don't know, animals are earthlings too. We're all earthlings. We're all earthlings. Scientifically, this is not a vegan propaganda thing. We're earthlings. We're all in this together. The earth was not made for humans. I don't know why somebody thinks that if humans were to disappear today, all animals would have a party. It would be a party. Grass would start growing back. Waters would start flowing right. Ice caps would like form back up. I don't want us to go anywhere, but we are a plague. It is what it is. And two, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian too. So that helped me with the compassion part. Like I always did. I actually have a cousin who is a veterinarian. Like we both, growing up, always said we were going to be one. She kind of stuck to it. I didn't. But it was also like I just didn't want anybody to feel rejected. I didn't care about anybody's age. I didn't care about anybody's, like even as a kid, I remember like situations where I'd be holding the door for an older person coming. I hold the door for anybody. Like you can ask Jess when we were all in Seattle or San Fran, and it's me and three ladies. You can ask all of them who opens the door. I open the door for all three of them when we get in the car. Like that's how I was raised. Like I want everybody to feel loved and welcomed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody should though. I don't understand this whole like we gotta be better than them and we have to set this dominance so people know that we run this. Like no, like we can all coexist and thrive. That's me. It might be wishful hippie vegan thinking, but
no, not at all. Like I think it's the right way to live. And you do a little bit of advocacy too, like what it looks like when you speak up for the animals.
It's usually got a comedic twist. Like I'm usually like I'm usually calling something out. Like, you know, you'll see something like I can't even think of an example right now, but like
when they say you to your tofu and then you tell them what you're eating actually is, and then
explain I mean, you're literally eating bull balls, but if it's cool with you, then cool. Like but I call it out the way it is. I'm like, like when people say, "Oh, you make your vegan stuff to look like meat," I'm like, actually, if we were to make it look like meat, it wouldn't be in the shape of a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? Like we make that stuff look like, as a butcher, I know
like food.
Yeah. Like, and it's funny. I get that all the time. And like when people be like, well, if you ever was around meat, you would know better. I'm like, well, actually, I was a butcher. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, so, and that's why I like to share all my stories. Like I said, from being obese, being a crack baby, being a butcher, I lived out of my car one time, but like, I've done it all. Like, but I want to show people like, no matter what life throws at you, you can still be your best. And everybody's best is different, but you can be your best.
I love that. Tell me what it's next. You do have some little project on your mind that you mentioned.
Yeah, well, besides, us coming out with a cologne line and, we'll talk about that later. But
yeah, cool.
I've been, so John Sally is my mentor, but we're very close friends as well. And I've been working on a project where it's called Road to Utopia, and and Utopia spelled Y-O-U, like finding yourself. Utopia. Find your road to Utopia. And we're taking 10 ailments, diseases, disorders here in America and comparing that to 10 other countries around the world. Like I said, for instance, we're looking at diabetes. Here in America, we have 38 million cases of diabetes. In Amazon, they have 0. So we'll go engulf ourselves in this environment, this community, learn from them, see how they walk, how they talk, how they breathe, how they eat, their sense of community, how they live life, and relay that back to the viewer. Because from where I'm from, my cousin who passed away, I have a tattoo of him here. He didn't get on his first plane until he was 33. So I got people in my life I know that have never left the city, much less the country. So it's our way of giving back too, is like, we're going to relay these messages, and you can take these steps that we get and incorporate them to your life. There's no membership. There's no fee. Just change things in your life. It's going to have a plant-based vegan undertone, but we're not throwing them in their face. Like they're trying to kill us, wasn't throwing veganism in their face. It was vegan, but that wasn't what it was about. And this one shouldn't get blackballed because it won't be as dark. And we're calling it, edutainment because when John and I get together, it's fun. It's just always fun.
It's going to be entertainment.
And he's the one person I literally have to look up to. Like, not because I respect him, because he's 7 foot and I'm only 6'6". Like, I have to look up to him. Like, I have no choice. But and so it'll be that, and like we've already secured 1/3 of the funding, so we gotta get the other 2/3, and then we can start the project up. I'm excited about that, and just talked to Chef Chu yesterday. It's not 100% going down, but it looks like we'll be doing some kind of meal thing with that, and basically providing, as you suggested, 31-day meal kits for people, because you hear it all the time too. People are like, oh man, if somebody cooked like this for me all the time, I'd be vegan.
Exactly.
I was like, all right, okay, so we'll provide that service to where you can get everything you need, and we're actually also looking at having it to where if a person is in a fitness kind of goal setting, okay, so you need this amount of protein, fats, and macros. Here goes your meal plan for the week, and all the food's getting shipped to you. Now, that's up to you. If you don't eat the food that's shipped to you, that's on you. But if you eat this, you'll get your goals, you'll get whatever you want. But it's not necessarily fitness related, but just making life easier without charging a ton of money too. We don't want to charge them a ton of money, but I mean, it's going to cost because that's just how it is, like resources, time, and all that. But I'm excited about that, man. But some things down the pipeline.
Perfect. Well, that's beautiful. I do want to ask you one of the last things. First, shout out to your kids, okay?
Pax and Mars.
Beautiful. And then,
and Teddy. Sorry, I got a puppy now. So.
Oh my God, yes,
Teddy.
adopted. That's the name you went with.
Yeah.
Come on, what I suggested, I forgot.
Well, Teddy S'mores.
Okay.
Like Teddy swims, but he looks like s'mores. He's a burner doodle. So Teddy S'mores.
Good. Well, I like that. And I do want to ask is like, I really hope the whole of your journey it inspire people to give a veganism a chance, because you speak about how beautiful it's for the health. You have a whole movie about it, why it's like we should just move away from those practices. You're gonna have another fun project. But on top of all of that, you are taking care of your own body and of your own health. And of course, it helps the planet and it helps the animals, which like it's so important to me. I'm like so passionate when it comes to the animals. But you also work out.
I work out a little bit, just a little bit,
a little bit. Like seriously, like how many times a week and stuff? Like how much of
I've adjusted it over the last 3 weeks actually. But I work out 5 days a week.
That's good.
And I run 5 days a week.
And you run marathons too?
Half marathon. I've never run a full. My mind just won't let me go to a full. But I've done 6 halves. I've done about 10 5Ks. But I run, at one point I was running 120 miles a month. Like I was just out there.
Will I confuse you if I tell you that I'm 36 years old, but I ran a marathon in my 40s? Is it confusing?
No.
I just know that that's my life. In my 40s, I ran a marathon. Like I
get it. You see it.
It already happened. The time just needs to catch up. So people get so confused when I say,
but you know what? I say that all the time. I was like, the problem I think with people and not being able to achieve their goals is because they lost their sense of imagination. Like you can see it.
Oh, I know. Like
the stuff I do, the stuff you do, creatives can see what they're about to do.
My 2 besties are in their 40s, and my 2 besties started living their dreams in their 40s. And I always like talking to them and being close to them and seeing all of this. I always say that my life is going to be the best in my 40s, and it's also when I ran my very first marathon. But I always say when I ran, like it happened.
But you got to see it. You have to see it.
Time just has to catch up.
And I think for any viewer that's out there, you need to see what you want to do. You have to the point where you can feel it. Like you can feel it. Like this show that I'm creating, I see it already. I already see it. The movie, this sounds crazy. I saw me being an author, working in film. I probably was 4 years old when I saw that. I saw all that. I had a notebook that I used to write stuff down with. And people thought I was crazy. And you can people around me in my high school and all that stuff, like our 30-year reunions this year. And like, they were like, yeah, he talked about that. Like I knew it. I knew it. I could see it. I could feel it. And even if I didn't come even 1 mile close to what I wanted to do, I still was closer if I didn't even try. You got to at least try. You got to go for it. Actually, I hate the word try. I'll take that back. You got to go for it. Because when you try, you like kind of give yourself some wiggle room. Like, oh, I tried. But if you go for it, you're going to get close to it if you don't get it.
I love this. This is a perfect message to leave the people with. But I do want to ask them to connect with you. You can be found anywhere as a
badass vegan everywhere, even Pinterest. I just
really.
Oh yeah, right. Well, because also too, like I want to make sure that I take the name and nobody does something crazy with the name.
Exactly.
Like,
so it's like I'm taking it everywhere.
Yeah. Snapchat, whatever it is. I don't even use Snapchat, but I got it. It's on.
I should probably have opened then Pinterest and Snapchat with Kill My Name, so nobody takes it.
Right.
I did not do the. Not gonna give you any ideas. I'm gonna make sure I do it before this is live. Yes, because nobody gets any crazy ideas right now. So find me on Pinterest and find me on Snapchat as the Kill My Name.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna be on those, but also get John's book. Badass Vegan can be found probably everywhere. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, everywhere. And make sure to watch the film. And John, thank you so much for taking time to be here today.
I'm glad we finally got to do it. We've been talking about this for a while.
I know. I really wanted it, and now I know why I wanted it, because like you have such a great story, better than I could imagine, and I got to learn so much about you, but also get to learn from you and to be inspired. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, this was just such an incredible episode. As always, so motivational and inspiring, and it makes me to do more and hopefully to accomplish that goal of working out more. And definitely, I know for a fact that I ran my marathon, so it's like it's a done thing. Okay, just time needs to catch up.
We probably run it together.
Yeah, could be a thing. So. Thank you for listening and watching today. Until the next time, remember, if anybody ever tells you that you are too much, you will tell them to go and find less. I love you.